Hi everybody and welcome back to another dungeon. I'm Dave Haldane and in this video we're going to run through the timed phase of XCOM the board game. This is a tutorial video, so the previous one was setting up the board, the next one will be the resolution phase, and following that we're going to be joined by a few friends and we'll actually play an entire game through so you can see it turn by turn and see how it plays in real time. Now we've set up the board already, we're going to be playing Domination. So I've separated the alien cards, I've shuffled the mission card, shuffled them, everything's good to go. The only thing I didn't do, I just realised, is I forgot to remove the asset cards. So I'll go back on the app and do that, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'm playing this game on easy mode, main reason being that way I can pause for as much as I like and take the time to explain to you how things go. Normally in the timed phase, you have to quickly respond to each action and say done, so the central central officer can proceed to the next task. So without further ado, we'll get started. Begin round 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the first task, which is almost always the same, is new technology available. For this, the chief science officer draws 6 cards. If they had 4 cards in their hand, they just draw up so that they end up with 6. Once that's done, they yell out, oh, they don't yell. You can yell, but you just say done, and then the central officer can hit done on the thing. Now, while other people are having their turns, the central officer and the science officer, I'll come over here, should be looking through the cards and looking at what they want to do. Do they want this tech, which is for the chief scientist? Means during the resolution phase you can exhaust it and place a free success token on a tech card that has something assigned. That costs 2 successes. You know, look through all the stuff, see which ones you think are important. Right, that's an easy one, that's that, and go, right, they're the 3 that I want to research this time. So basically the whole point of it is you don't wait until your turn to do it because it's all timed. Be thinking about it while the other people are having their turns. And you'll notice on the app there's a small flashing red icon. If we tap that now, or the central officer taps that now, you can see that we're soon going to have potentially UFOs in South America and Australia. Australia is where our base is, so that's very important to us. Mind you, they're not super panicked. And Africa is. But anyway, that's something, you don't have to do that, but it's a useful little tool for the central officer to do. So when we finish that, we hit done. And then we go XCOM budget 12 credits, a task for the commander. So what the commander does, I've got them in stacks of 10, is they draw out their budget. 12 credits, that's what we can spend. Each soldier costs a credit, each scientist costs a credit, each satellite costs a credit, and each interceptor costs a credit. Once they've drawn the budget, they say done. And then we've got enemy in base, squad leader. So for the squad leader, all they do is they draw the top card, which you can see is a sectoid, and place it on here. Now one thing to pay attention to now for the squad leader is they should start planning their base defense. See how they've got this icon here and this icon here? If we look at our assault class, perfect example, the fact that they've both got this icon here means that that soldier is able to attack this enemy, and that means 2 enemies can be assigned to that to attack that enemy. The fact that it's got this yellow highlight means that it's a critical. So instead of that person rolling 1 XCOM success die, when it comes time to roll die, they get 2. I'll run through that in the resolution phase, but when you're deciding what to attack, if you can match up the highlights as well, that's even better. For example, if we chose a support, they can match up this targeting icon, but it's just a normal target. That just means they can attack, but they get no bonuses. So while the, support and assault. So again, as with the scientist, while other people are having their turn, you should be looking at all the things that you can assign, how much it's going to cost, how much it's going to take from the budget, and what you need to survive. Now the base damage, just quickly, is extremely important. It's a very quick way to lose the game. If there's 3 enemies left in the base and you don't beat any of them, you advance the damage track 3 units. Worse still, it comes across this target, which means we have to resolve this target on the mission card, which in this case says spawn 2 FOs in each continent in the red, which is pretty nasty. Doesn't affect us right now, but it's pretty nasty. Either way, you've only got 7, so you can only have 7 enemies in there before it's game over. Alternatively, you can lose the game by having 2 continents go up to the fully panicked, or the continent where your base is in. Because if they become fully panicked, your base is useless. And that's it for the squad leader's turn. So we hit done. And now it says UFOs detected. As predicted earlier, there's a UFO in Australia and in South America. And that's all you have to do. That's done by the central officer. So you hit done, choose mission. So what the squad leader does is they draw the top 2 mission cards, have a look at them both and decide which one they want to do. Now up in the top right here is the rewards. So this one is destroy 2 UFOs and reduce panic in Europe by 2. And this one is build 2 interceptors and reduce panic in Australia by 1. Now these tasks here, they're there and there, they just require 1 success on a dice to resolve. On the final mission, sometimes you get some that require 3 successes, so you have to count. These symbols here mean that we place an enemy card face down. And when it comes time to resolve, we flip that card. But when we're assigning troops, we don't know what the enemy is. So, yeah. But that's not overly important, because when you resolve a mission... Sorry, I'll just go back over this side. So when you choose your mission, don't worry too much about that, because if you leave something unresolved or you fail, there's not really any flow-on effect except for dead troops. You don't raise panic in continents, you don't raise damage in your base. There's nothing that will affect you losing the game. However, the more missions you can complete, the better rewards you'll get, and the faster you'll get to the final mission, and the final mission is the way you win the game. So, let's say we're going to pick this mission. We place it there. That becomes the discard pile there, and we take an enemy card there. So now the squad leader should be thinking about who he wants to put in base defense and who he wants to put on the mission card. So once that's done, he yells out done. Oh, we've got another warning. Looks like there's going to be another UFO in South America. So we hit done. Crisis for the commander. What the commander does, quickly, is draws 2 crisis cards and picks. We've got elite soldiers do not roll an additional XCOM die this round, and move 1 scientist from each research task back to its reserve. Now, we don't have any elite soldiers, and we probably won't, so we pick that one and put it there, and put the other one in the discard pile there. And then we tell the central officer we're done. Now we've got assign research 1. That means we assign research to this place here. So say we wanted to do holo targeting. It's going to be used by the squad leader, and it lets you reduce threat by each time you're rolling against an enemy task. So we put it there, and we've got 12 credits, so we go, look, I'd like to assign 1 scientist to this task. You can assign up to 3, each cost 1, and each determines how many of these success die you may roll during the resolution phase. So once we've done that and assigned the tech, we say done, and the next thing is crisis again. So we look through, spawn 2 UFOs in orbit, or destroy 2 interceptors. Well, we'll go for orbit, because we now know that we can defend that, because there's going to be crisis to be resolved. So we go done, enemy in the base again. This time we take the enemy and place it face up in section 2. It's actually got the same icons as the sectoid, except there's no critical bonus, which is good. So we say done, and then UFOs detected. 2 UFOs in South America. That's not very good. Done. Deploy squad to mission. So this is where we take some of our reserve troops here and we assign them to the mission. The way we do that, say we want to do this first task, and we want to assign an assault because they get a critical roll. For now, we're just going to assign 1 person to the task, because we're not sure how many we're going to need for the others, and we don't want to worry too much about our budget. It looks like we're going to have quite a bit of defending to do here, and don't forget we're going to be spawning 2 UFOs in orbit at the end, so we don't want to spend too much money on troops doing a mission that we can hold off for maybe a quieter round. Once that's done, they say done. Central officer resumes the app. Assign research 2. For number 2, we're going to do UFO navigation. It requires 2 successes, but as with the other one, we're not sure how we're doing for resources at this stage, so we're just going to assign 1 scientist. Chief scientist says done, and then emergency funding is available. What that means is the commander may draw from this pool of 10 on the card. They only get to use it once. They get to use it once per round, but it doesn't replenish. You can get tech that will help it replenish, but I wouldn't bank on it. Ha, no pun intended. Anyway, so if you want to say you want an extra 3, you can just take it off that card and put it in. At the end of the round, it's spent or lost regardless. So any leftover money you can use to buy extra troops and stuff, but only really use it if you're worried that you're going to go over your budget. Because going over your budget means that panic increases in various continents. So once that's done, the commander says done, central officer hits done on here, and we go to assign research 3. Okay, this is interceptor repair 2. We're going to assign 2 scientists, because this one lets us build interceptors, and yeah, let's just say that we find that important. It's not that important, but pretending for the sake of the demo. Chief scientist says done. You'll notice that when I'm pausing this game, by the way, we've got unlimited pause time. That's because I've started the game in easy for the sake of the demo. Normally we would have run out of pause time well before now. Done. Okay, deploy satellites. Now, this is a task for the central officer. They place these satellite tokens. I probably should have covered this with the scientists as well. They can be either exhausted, which is flipped over like that, or they can be active like that. They become exhausted if they fail. Now we know we're going to have 2 UFOs here, so we opt to spend 2 credits and put 2 UFOs there. Now another job of either the commander or the central officer is to be monitoring how much we've spent. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now out of our 12. That means we've got 5 left to deploy defense in the base and interceptors. So yeah, maybe we should have taken some emergency funding or gone a little lighter on the scientists or what have you. We'll find out soon enough. So hit done, and now we deploy interceptors. So let's say we're going to do two in South America. Now one of these has a, where is it? It is. Okay, so there's this asset card. All players have asset cards that they can use any time during the indicated phase. In this particular instance, this is called Satellite Nexus. It can be used during the time phase, which is now any time, and you place one satellite there and move a UFO to the board to an orbit, or a continent that's not yet fallen into panic. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 3 interceptors there, and then we're going to use this card and move that one into orbit. That way we've got all our bases covered, no pun intended, and hopefully no more UFOs are going to appear. And we've minimised our spend as well, keeping in mind we've now only got 2 left to defend the base. Once done, commander says done, and of course there's more UFOs, but luckily they have appeared in the same continent we're already in. Done. Defend the base. Okay, so now we know we've got 2 people there at the moment. We can put in 1 support. You just place your troops here. And we've got 1 coin credit left. So let's say we pick support, because support has the target icon, which means they can attack either of those enemies. Once done, we say done, and now we're ending timed phase. Normally during the game, any leftover time you've got by completing tasks early, not using pause time, etc., comes to a central group now. You get all this time to go through and go, oh, I've got this timed phase. Discard 2 tech cards from your thing. Time phase. Place 2 soldiers here. Discard a crisis card from the pool. So we can go, right, we'll chuck those 2 there and we'll get rid of this spawning 2 UFOs. We won't for the sake of it. Oops. They go there. The commander has some, etc. So you can go through for any time left before you start the resolution phase, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we'll move on to the resolution phase. So on to our next video.